it in here. This coding task 4 is about app actions, those items you see up there, and also others down here. So we shall have some icons in that folder that we sent for task 4. We had some icons over here. They are zipped in files, and which icon to use where they were named properly over here. So we shall make use of those. This task is mainly concentrated or focusing on app menus, those action bar menus, the ones you see over here. And it's actually really simple, because all you have to do is to create a menu file. After creating a menu file, then override the onCreate menu options in the activity, and then after that override another method which is on options, on option item selected on, I think, method like that one, on select options item. I think that's the name of the method, and then that will help us to take an action when any of these actions or options are clicked or selected. So without doing any more talking, I will go into our implementation. Again, I'll emphasize that, as you can see here, we are not changing anything in any of these activities. We are not developing any AI today. All we shall be concentrating on, it will be creating these menus over here. Now, to create a menu or an app action, we begin by creating a menu file, a menu resource file. How do you create that one? We create it in the layout. Actually, not in the layout, but in the resources folder. We go to new. We want to create a new Android resource file. Now we're gonna create. As you can see here, we have about two types of menus. We have one menu on the workshop attendance, menu options on the workshop attendance, and also have other menu options on the main activity. So we are gonna create those two files because they are different. Android resource. And we are going to name this one type of resource. It is a menu resource, and you're going to name this one menu, but it's going to be for the main activity. We can leave all the rest as is and click OK, so that we can have that menu created for us. Now let us create also another menu, let us create a new Android resource, and we are going to name this one, it's supposed to be a menu. We are going to name this one menu. Now this time around, this is an attendance activity. Okay. Now we shall begin with the one with within the main. We shall begin the one for the main. We shall begin with one for the main activity. Now, since we are going to be using icons inside these menu resource files, let us first go ahead to add those icons real quick. When you open our project folder, I have these icons inside here. Now we add icons. We shall go to the resource and say open in show in Explorer. When open this one, we want to add those icons, so we shall open the rest. Also, if you try to open these icons over here, for example, we are using this add black Android. We open this one over here. It also has this race and has all of these ones. What I usually do is to copy all of this and paste it over here. Because we didn't have those drawables over there. And also we shall go ahead to get these other ones. Now currently, when you open one of these, you see that we have only one. We have added this add baseline add 24, and also when you open this other HD, we have these icons add over here, a lot of them for adding, as we shall be using them. The same applies for these other drawables over here. Now when you again open this race and have this, copy all of this and paste it down here inside here. We shall have inside here this other icon being added into each of these other folders. Into each of these other folders, we have that icon added. So we shall do the same for the rest of the other two zip files. copy, get this, then select all of this, bring it inside here. Repeat the same for the other one. Do the same for this one. This, press it down here. The rest. So if you open one of these, for example, drawable HD, HDPI, you have all those icons. The one for I information, this one for book online, and then adding, they have been all added for us. So what I'll do is to close these others because I'm no longer using them. Close all of them. Close this one as well. I can leave this one, but now this Explorer, I won't need it anymore, so I'll go ahead to close it as well. So now inside this menu resource file, what we have to do is to specify an item, a menu item. We have to specify a menu item inside it. When you look at this picture over here, okay, when you look at this picture over here in the main activity, we have two. Okay, this one is not visible, but okay, it's visible actually. When you click this one, we have another menu option over here, but we also have an action here, which has an icon over an eye, which means visibility. And we're using it to open the other activity, which displays the workshop attendance currently. So what we shall do is to create these options over here. There are two items inside there. So we shall go ahead to create the first item, and first item, close that one. The first item has you can first begin by giving it an ID so that we can be able to access it inside our code. And I'm gonna give it an ID menu. This one we shall use the visibility icon to show the people who are attending the workshop right now. And we can also go ahead to give it a title of attending now. You can also give it a title of attending now, and you can give it an icon as well. What icon are we giving it? We are giving it an icon of visibility black 24, this one, and we shall also give it a category. That frozen. We shall also give it a category of. We shall also give it an order in category. Now, this order in category tells us how the order in which you want this one to appear. You want it to appear as the first, the second, or the third. So I want it to appear as the first one. And also show as action. I want to show this one as an action. To show it as an action, it will appear as an icon. If you don't want to show it as an action, it will appear in the overflow. If you don't want to show it as an action, it will appear in this overflow menu options, which are signified with these horizontal dots. So we shall want it to appear as an action as long as there is room. That's why we say show as action if room is available. This item is done. We shall go ahead to create another item. You can copy this and make use of it. Now, sorry for that. We can change the ID here to menu. Now this one is to show the about of our app. So we shall give it a title of about app. What is order in category? Order in category is used to tell us. Now, because when you look at, let me show you this picture over here. When you look at this app bar over here, these actions appear in order. A very good example is this one. We have this one appearing first before the next. Now, if you want instead this plus to appear first before this one for joining the workshop, you would give the plus one an order in category of 1 and give this one an order in category of 2. But now, since inside our menu file over here, menu resource file, we are giving this one an order in category 1, it will appear first. That's why coincidentally or incidentally we are saying that we have this visibility eye appearing first. But if we wanted it to appear second, we would give it an order in category of 2. I think I'll also show you that one when we are creating the menu of attendance, the menu for the attendance, and see the difference between the order and category. I think I've answered your question, have I? Or you need more clarification on that? If I've answered your question, please send an acknowledgement there. All right, so we have this one, but now we don't want this one to show as an action. We want it to appear in this overflow over here. So we shall say never show as an action. Never show as an action. So this main resource is done. Main resource file is done. Now, before you go to the other next main resource file, we can test if this one is working. How are we going to test if it's working? We shall come to this main activity because we are showing this main resource, these main resources on the main activity. And what we shall do here, we shall override two methods. One method is on create options menu. Another method is on menu. I think it is on menu item selected or something like that. Anyway, one is, let me create control override. I want to override on create options menu. We override this method on create options menu so that we can create the options menu. Now, what we usually do inside here, we inflate the menu, inflate the menu. In other words, this is the same as add items to the menu bar. How do we do that? We simply call the method called get menu inflator, and call the inflate. The inflate we pass to it the menu resource file, and say we shall say resources.menu. We have the resource file over there, and now we shall gonna use the menu main for the main activity, and also pass to it this other object of the menu. And then after that, this work is done. When you run this app again, when you look at this app at this moment, it doesn't show any menu items over there. But if you run it again, this time around, it's supposed to show us some menu options inside here. As building, we shall also override another method we shall make use of, and that is on I think on options item selected. Yeah, on options item selected. Now this method is the one that is called when any of the items in the options menu is selected. We shall override this one to take action when any of the items in the options menu is selected. And we shall usually use, okay, that one has finished building. Okay, still building. We usually use a switch statement to check which of the menu items has been selected. And now this switch can take in the ID of the menu item. That's why we give them IDs in the beginning. So we shall simply say item dot get item ID, and then after that we shall use a case and say in case it is error resources.id dot I give them an ID of ID menu. If it is ID dot menu attending now, we want to do some action here. And then after this, we return true. Usually return true down here. Okay, now as you can see here, we have been able to create our options over here. We have an action which is of visibility, and when you click this overflow button, we have that about up over there because of this method on create options menu. Now, when you realize that when you click on any of these, there's nothing that appears at all, right? Nothing appears at all. And when you click on this one, still nothing appears at all. Nothing is taken action at all. So what we shall do is to implement what should happen in this method here. It returns a boolean, that's why we're returning true here. Now, how are we going to handle this? Okay, this is wrong. How are we going to handle this? First of all, when you click on this one, we want to be able to open the other activity that displays the attendance for our workshop. So we shall create an intent. But instead of creating that intent, we know that we have already created a similar intent over here. So why do we wouldn't like to repeat ourselves? Okay, don't have that intent. The one for attendance activity. We'll go to the attendance activity by joining, after joining, so it's supposed to be inside here. After join now. should be at the bottom over here. Okay. Okay, it's this one over here, and it has a lot of data which we shall not use. I think we shall delete it. Now, when you click on this one, we are not putting in any extras, because now when you just click here, we are not importing any data, so we shall not need any of these extras. So I'll delete them, and I'll only retain this. We shall create an intent which goes to the attendance activity to show the number, to show the people who are attending the workshop at this moment. Start intent. Now another case is in case you click on the resources.id.menu id about. In case you click on this one, what we want to do is to display, when you look at this picture here, when you click on this one, this other one, we shall get that about over there, and when you click on the about, we display this alert dialog. So we shall create that one. When you click on the ID menu about, we shall say we want to show a dialog about our app. And then how to create another dialog? I just explained that one very well. We'll begin by calling alert dialog. Okay, it's freezing. Please don't freeze. Alert dialog. Oh my god, it has frozen and even closed the Android Studio. I have to open the Android Studio again. Can you hear my voice though? Can you hear my voice? Is everything still intact? Yes, you can hear my voice. My Android Studio has abruptly closed, so I have to open it again. I hope it doesn't take 1 year to open. Sometimes it takes a year or a half, 1.5 years to open. I'm opening my Android Studio again, so you can be trying to play around with that code we've been writing to see if we can have that alert dialog open. At the moment my Android Studio opens, we shall go right into that. Oh, what I can be doing is, instead, I can create a text view here and I'll be typing in the code to display the alert dialog, such that when my Android Studio comes back, I just copy and paste the code inside there. I'll create a get new machine. Thank you very much. I'm getting a new one real quick. So I'm gonna name this one alert dialog, and I'm gonna type my alert dialog in the text view, in the text editor over here, in the text editor, and then if the moment my Android Studio comes back, we shall simply paste that one in and continue. Hope this one is not freezing as well. Okay, today is a different day. I'm just realizing now. Yes, you can be typing your alert dialog. I think my machine is turning against me today for reasons I don't understand very well. Right. And first close this AVD because it consumes a lot of RAM, which is not available. The computer doesn't close, it might end up crashing and closing. Oh, that battery RAM. Oh, that would be very nice. Okay, so this one's back. That's finally resurrected, but I think it has not yet fully resurrected. It's half dead, still half dead. I think I'll wait a little bit more. Screen is available now. Maybe the read speed of storage. That could also be the reason. So I was saying that I'm creating a text view to type in my alert dialog for the app. For about app. Even the text, okay. I thought it was taking also years to open. Now, I was creating that case for, I'm gonna be typing this one here, and when my Android Studio comes back, I'll simply copy and paste that inside in. I was creating the case for if resources.id.id. I think the ID was ID menu what? ID menu about, like as if, right? Now, in cases where in such a case, oh, the Android Studio is also redirecting at the background. Okay, that's good. And in such a case whereby this one has opened, I'll take some action, and at the end of that action, I'll return true. What action do I want to take? I want to create. I want to create an alert dialog. How do you create an alert dialog? Show dialog. How do you create that one? We first of all begin with the alert dialog. We call this create an alert dialog object. I'll name it alert dialog. You can follow with me along as you're typing in Android Studio. Mine is still redirecting. It has been dead. And then I'll say new alert dialog. And after that, I call the builder. I call the builder for the alert dialog. Now inside the builder, I pass in the context. I will pass in the context, but since I'm overriding this method, this one is called from a different class. So instead of just passing this, I'll say main activity, because I'm calling this one inside the main activity. I'll say main activity of this. And then after passing in the context, I go ahead to call the create method for this builder. Create. After calling that, I go ahead to set the title and also set the message for the alert dialog. So I'll say alert dialog dot set alert dialog dot set title. Set title. I want to give it a title of our app. I want to give it a title of what? I want to give it a title of just our app name, right? And our app is called Android Workshop. Finish that. I also give it that will do it. By the way, guys, it's not weird. Those guys, when they were starting out developing Android, they could type the code in the text editor. So they had to look at the documentation every now and then because there was no intelligence at all. So this is very normal. Type the Android Studio code in the text editor. So I'll set the message. Which message do I want to set? I remember from that app, the message was this is the app. This is the Android Workshop app, right? This is the app. This is the Android Workshop. This is the Android Workshop app. This is the Android Workshop app for joining, and inviting friends. For joining and inviting friends to join the workshop. So I'll go back this side. This is also trouble. I'll go back this side, and also now I have to set a button. After setting the title and the message, I'll go ahead to set the button, and I'm gonna use the neutral button so that I don't take any action, but just to close the dialog in case that button is clicked. So I'll say set button, and what I do here, I say alert dialog. Alert dialog has a number of buttons. You have yes. I think that yes is positive, and then noise is negative, something like that. But I remember for neutral, it is a constant which is known as button neutral. button neutral, and I'll give it simply the word okay, such that when the user clicks it, I want us to close this alert dialog. How are we going to close it? We shall create we shall create a callback of on click listener, a callback for an on click listener, and that comes from the alert dialog, and that comes from the dialog interface. Comes from the dialog interface, and we shall call the dot on click listener, on click listener, on click listener, and then this one is the one that calls another method. In case you're going to override here, inside here there's a method override, which is there's a method that's overridden, which is on click. In case that button is clicked, public on click returns a void, I think. On click, in case that button is clicked, the methods are named in camel case. In case that button is clicked, we shall say it takes in two arguments, two parameters. One is the interface, dialog interface, dialog interface, and we shall name that one dialog, and also an integer. You just put an I there, integer I, and we'll get this over here. In case that button is clicked, the one I've just set up, I simply want to call dialog dot dismiss. I want to dismiss that dialog. And also close this one over here. After setting up this alert dialog, you have to go ahead to call the alert dialog dot show, alert dialog dot show method to show that alert dialog, and end up by returning true. So this is all for the alert dialog, and also my Android Studio has selected. Let me first run the AVD. And as that AVD is building and running, I'll copy this code and paste it down here. I hope it doesn't have errors in it. Copy this code. This one has opened real quick. So open and I paste it down here. Down here. Just don't freeze again. Paste down here. Oh, it has all these errors. I think I have to. Okay, I have to get this one from. To import this one, the alert dialog. I use this one from app compass 17, and okay, now I've named this one differently, so this one's supposed to be capital D. And dialog interface, I have to import this one as well. On click listener doesn't have this. This one. I think let me just override this method after it. I'm not very sure about what went wrong here. I'll copy the whole of this and say new dialog on click listener. Is it on click listener? I think it's dialog interface, not alert dialog. Right? Dialog interface. Yeah. Dialog interface dot on click listener. And then inside here, I want to simply call dialog dot dismiss. Dialog dot dismiss. This one has opened, but by the time it had opened, I had not finished this. Let me first review it again. You can see the Android Studio, right? By the time it opened, I don't know whether we were seeing it. Can you see it? Please send an acknowledgement over there if you can see it right now. The Android Studio. Okay, cool. Now, when you click this one and click open up, it shows this alert dialog very well and clean. And if you click the OK button, as we have specified here, the moment you click it, we want to dismiss this, it will be dismissed. Now, this is all for the menu. Now we have about 3 minutes left to end, but allow me to finish also the menu for the other part. For the attendance, the menu for the attendance activity, whereby we also show a menu according to this picture, whereby we also show a menu. Where's that one? Up here. We also show these two menu items over here. I'm gonna create this one real quick. Please allow me to finish this one so that we can make it complete as well. So well and good enough, I had already created here this other menu file. So I'll simply come inside here, I'll open it, and also I think I can make use of the content over here, copy some of it. Can I copy the whole of it? I think I can copy the whole of it. Let me copy the whole of it and simply change a few things. I'll come back inside here. And now, first of all, I'm going to change the ID menu. This one is supposed to be join now. And the first one, I'm also, they are all, both of them are appearing as actions, so we shall change this one to if room, and also this is attending now. No, this one is supposed to be join now, not attending now. Change this one to join now, and it's supposed to use a different drawable, which is it is what is that drawable? I think join now is this one. We use this one for book online up 24, and then this other one is for invite. Invite friend, and then I'm gonna name this one invite friend, and then I'll go ahead to remove this, say icon equals to the invite one. We use the add, right? We use the add, this one over here is what we used. Now according to this, someone is asking about order in category. We have here 1 and we have here 2. What will happen is we shall have this one appearing first, the same way it is inside here, but I'm going to change that one later so that we can see how it changes the order of those ones. So I'll come back to the attendance activity over here where we're showing that one, and I override that method on create options menu, and I'll simply I'll go back here and I paste and I copy and paste all of this, paste it down here. But now this time round is a different menu. It is menu attendance, so those ones will be inflated inside there. We can run that one real quick to see. Building, we can go ahead to also override another method of on options item selected, and here we are using a switch and case switch, and we are passing in here item dot get item ID. We shall have two cases. Case 1 is when the resources dot id dot is id attending now, join now. Now when you go that side of this one, when you click this one, okay, our app is crashing. Let me see the reason for it to crash. App is crashing real quick. Oh, I know the reason why it's crashing. The reason why app is crashing, look up here. You see that in the attendance activity, remember in the beginning the user was entering something, right? And then we are getting the intent over here, right? And then getting the data from the intent. However, this time around the user is not entering anything at all. And now if you call get intent when there is no intent, actually it will make the app crash. Let us first put this one right real quick. We shall say if get intent is not equal to null. If it's not equal to null, it's not equal to now, then do all this uba-haba, do all this uba-haba. Let me first correct this and I put it up here in the beginning. And if it is known now, then perform these other actions of adding and getting that string from up there. So I'll put this one here. This time round up shouldn't crash. It's not equal to what's this? Oh, I'm putting this one in the reverse order. Not here, inside here. We can also go back here. We are working on down here. Just first return true and see if our app doesn't crash now. Return true. Let's run this one. Now, as this one is building, if this one is clicked, we want to open the other activity of joining. We allow the user to join, and we already created those activities over here. Let us see this one. It's again crashing. That's not good news though. Balance activity. If get intent. If get intent dot how can we check that one? If get intent dot get extras. Let us get extras as well. See if the extras are null. Let's run that one again. As it's building, we can go ahead here to check if ID, if this ID menu join now. If this is the case, then you want to guide to, let me check this one real quick. Finally, it's not crashing. So you have these two over here, and this one is appearing first. Now, to that person who was asking about what this one does, we can guide to change this order and category to 1, and then change this one to 2, and see if the plus will come first before the other one. Shall be that one again. Come back here, and if it has also go inside here and say that let us look for that intent whereby we're opening the join. I think this is the intent for joining. We come back inside here. If you click that join, we shall open this intent and also copy this and paste it down here and say ID. Okay, it has finished building. Yes. Now you see when you open the add button the add action comes first before the other one, because we have changed this one being we have changed this order and category. So I hope that one is very clear to you now. Now we go ahead to change this ID attending now. No, invite friend. Here it will be for invite friend, and what we shall do for invite friend, we shall call the other one for the other activity for invite friend activity.class. And then since this one is also having a similar name, we can name this one intent1, and then this one intent2. Usually cases have a default statement, so we shall create a default here, which I don't think is really necessary, but you can create it here for safety reasons. And as a default, we can also remove this one down here and simply put it down here. We shall do the same inside here. Instead of putting it at the bottom here, we can remove it and put it down here as a default. Then database list default. Okay, so run this one once more, and I think we are done. However, one thing is realize that the color of these icons different. It looks like the color of the belt. Let us put this color alone, and then we shall end the solution to this task. How to color those ones? When you click this one and now click on this one, it will bring this the invite friend, and when you click this one, you join yourself. Now, how do we color those menu icons? To color the menu icons during the installation process, you can go over all of them. You can say here color. You're not actually going to color them, but you're going to tint them and give them a different color. How do we do that? We shall loop over all of those icons inside there. So say integer I equals to 0, and then say I less than menu dot size. How how many items are over there, and then I plus plus. So what we shall do inside here, we shall first of all get a drawable which represents the icon, drawable, and say drawable equals to menu dot get item, and then pass in the ID, pass in the number of the item, and then say get its what? Get its icon. After getting its icon, we shall go ahead to check if the drawable is not null. If this drawable, because sometimes you may not provide an icon for your menu, so let us be defensive enough to check if it's not null. If it's not null, you can go ahead to tint it. How are you gonna tint it? We shall say, first of all, we shall begin by mutating it. Drawable is supposed to be, before you change their properties, you have to mutate them. Otherwise, if you don't mutate them, you won't be able to change their properties from the code. And then after that, we shall say drawable.set color filter. We are gonna give it a color which is similar to the color of that belt, and we give it let us get the color resources, get resources dot get color. That color is resources dot color dot, I think it was header belt, right? Yeah. And then now we have to pass in here the color filter. The number of color filters, you can find a lot of them in the documentation. I'm gonna use one which was made by two guys. One was Porter, another was Duff. It's called Porter Duff, and I'm gonna call one of the mods which is very nice for this job, and it's called source at top. This information is available in the documentation. You can find it there readily available. And after that, I think we shall have our icons well colored. Now let us run that one to see if they are colored, and if they are colored, we shall do the same. We shall copy this and take it inside here. We'll do the same for the icons over there. So open this one. You see now the icon has changed from black to a color which is similar to this one here, and when you click, okay, these ones do not have that color, but after running this one, they'll have the same color. So this was task 4. We've finished it fully. Thank you for staying with us. We've delayed you for over 10 minutes now, but I appreciate you for your patience. Thanks very much. Now we have another task. We have another task which is task 5, but this one is very optional. If you feel you have the potential and energy to do it, you guide to do it. It is based on the recycle review. I'll post it with the solution on our GitHub. You can go ahead to go over it and see how you can do it. Later today, we shall post another message to remind you of the requirements for you to be able to qualify to get a certificate from this workshop. Today is our last day. Thanks very much for attending this workshop. We appreciate you for staying with us even when the machines were breaking and the code seems to be failing to work properly. Thanks very much for your patience. I hope you have a nice journey in your Android development hereafter, and I can't wait to use the apps you develop from this project or even later. Thanks very much, and have a nice day. Unless Thaddeus Oppo wants to say something, I think I would like to end my presentation here.